Welcome to the Eat, Slay, Live podcast.
And we are the Loxecutioners. We're going to be eating lightning and talking thunder and power bombing you right in the ear holes today.
Welcome to the Daily Grow with myself, Todd Locks, the People's Champ. Happy freaking Friday. It never really tells me when it's live. I know sometimes I'm just sitting there like a buffoon. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Anyway, today I'm calling today Fight and Flight Friday. I have a topic I want to talk to you about. I think it's going to hit home with some people, maybe a little dark. I don't know, but I hope I get my point across and it helps some people out. So imagine this. So you get up in the middle of the night, okay? It's 2, 3 in the morning. You're going to get up and go get a drink. And you hear, before you get to the kitchen, you hear a sound, you hear a noise in the kitchen. You think, maybe it's your son, maybe it's your daughter, you don't know. And you walk in there and there's a stranger in your house. Someone's broke in. And it's almost pitch black. You're both kind of staring at each other. You're face to face. You don't know this person. They look a little rough. And next thing you know, that person charges you. They charge you in the middle of your house, middle of the night, they charge you. You get into a physical struggle. So are you prepared for that? Maybe you have a gun next to your bed, but you got up to get a drink of water, you didn't bring it with you. This person who's broken into your house and is in where your family is sleeping. This person's from the streets. They didn't just get up out of a 800 count thread count sheet bed. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just go to sleep with a belly full of pizza or a belly full of ice cream. This person probably last confrontation was probably yesterday. Your last physical confrontation was probably back in 4th grade on the playground. Are you prepared for that? How long, before your wife or your kid or someone hears what's going on, you fighting with this person? How long until they actually get up and can call the cops? How long can you physically fight with this person? When was the last time you threw a punch? When was the last time you worked out? This person, this is what he does. This person runs from the cops all the time. This person probably carries stolen car parts for miles. This is a hard person that you're fighting with, that you're struggling with, who does this every day. And like I said, you're someone who maybe hasn't gotten into a physical confrontation since the 4th grade playground. Maybe this person is on some sort of drugs, pills, something like that. They're feeling no pain and they're going crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they got you by surprise. You just woke up out of a few hours of sleep. They had this premeditated. I mean, are you able to fight with that person? The average person can fight, struggle with someone. For average person who doesn't train or do anything has about 18 seconds worth of struggle with them. Now, I promise you that wild savage that you just ran into in your kitchen, I promise you they have a lot more struggle left in them than that. You always hear people say, someone broke in my house, I'll kick their ass, say, I will, I'll grab my gun. Well, at this point, this, you don't have time to get to your gun. At Circuit, we do a lot of punching, hitting heavy bags. And I see guys come in who look like maybe they can hold their own. And I watch them hit a heavy bag and it's just like patty cake, baker's meat, like they've never thrown a punch before. So when they say, I'll kick his ass, he comes into my house. Not by what I've seen, and it's how long can you last? I mean, you see a lot of guys who go to the gym, they bench press, they sit there for, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, then they hit another set. Those guys, look like they're in shape, but they're really not. I mean, a lot of those guys, they couldn't struggle for more than 30 seconds. And I know you think, that adrenaline dump, that'll get me through, but will it? Is that what you're going to depend on? Is just an adrenaline dump is going to save you fighting with this guy who's just, who's just wiry like cable? Is that what's going to get you through to save your family? you know, it's something to think about. If you've never thrown a punch, if you haven't been taught how to throw a punch, if you haven't thrown a punch in years, if you haven't done some sort of physical activity to prepare you for this, I promise you that 4th grade fight and that adrenaline dump aren't going to get you through to save your family. And I'm sorry to be realistic. I remember like at basic training when I was there and we started our hand-to-hand combat. I remember watching dudes like just no idea how to punch. Even the police academy did our hand-to-hand. These dudes come in, they look like they're tough and hard, and just watching them punch, and most of them, like I said, had about 20 seconds worth of fight left in them. And I know, well, that's never going to happen to me, blah, 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 blah. But what if it does? Another thing, what if, say you're at the park, you have your son at the park with you, and you turn your back and you turn around and someone's picked up your son. Someone has kidnapped your son. Someone takes off with your son and goes running down the street. And maybe by the time you turn around, they're about a half a block away, okay, sprinting with your son. Again, like I said, this is probably someone who's running with catalytic converters on their shoulder, you know? When was the last time you sprinted? Are you able to sprint after this person who, like I said, they're probably running from trouble every day of their lives? They probably don't have a car. They're probably walking miles every day. Could you run? Could you sprint after your son that has been kidnapped? I mean, if you stop to call the cops and think that's what's going to save you, I mean, by the time they get there, that person's long gone with your son. Maybe there will be someone at that park with you who's in great shape, who runs sprints, who works out like functionally, who works out tactically. Maybe they're able to help you and run and get your son from the would-be kidnapper. But do you really want to depend on someone else to do that for you? You know what I'm saying? When was the last time you ran a sprint? When was the last time you went out and just ran, 100 yards hard, 200 yards hard? Are you prepared for these situations? I know people hearing this are sitting there like, oh, they had my son. I would, I'd do anything to get him back. But I'll tell you what, there's a quote that I quote all the time. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. And I'm telling you, go do some really hard workout and try to do some sprints and see what I'm talking about. Another instance, you wake up in the middle of the night, you smell smoke, and by the time you see it, there's a fire and it's spread really fast. And you go to wake up your spouse, and they are passed out from smoke inhalation. You can't get her up. You have a kid, you're up in the upstairs bedroom. You have a son, he's downstairs in the basement bedroom. Now, would you have the strength, the endurance to grab your wife, drag her out of bed, carry her down the steps, out and through the yard and to safety, and then run back into the house, maybe up some steps, down the steps to the basement, into your son's room? Would you be able to pick him up? Would you be able to drag him up the stairs, out to the yard in time, and say, you got smoke, you fire? Have you ever tried to drag someone, pick someone up, just that dead weight like that? I'll tell you what, get a sandbag, like a 100-pound sandbag. And most people weigh more than 100 pounds, most adults, but try picking up a 100-pound sandbag and dragging it around, carrying it around. I'm telling you, when an object like that, even though 100 pounds doesn't sound heavy, when it's awkward and it's moving around and it's not just a barbell or a plate, that stuff is heavy, and trying to run with it and drag it, and in a situation like that, it's not easy. I put a quote up on this thing. It says, where did I put that? I'm going to pull it up here. Tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. One more time for the people in the back. Tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. And I feel like we have, for a long time, we've lived in some pretty easy times. You know what I'm saying? Which is making for, weak men. You know, we have everything. We have everything we need. It's brought right to our door. You know, like I said, this guy that you might be fighting with, struggling with in your house, I mean, he's living on the streets. You're living in a Tempur-Pedic bed that's heated or cooled. You get your seats in your vehicle are heated. Everything is brought to us. Everything is at our fingertips. You know what I'm saying? If you're not training, and like I said in the video the other day, if you're not training, if you're not staying ready, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You know, with some of the times that are going on with, you know, the drugs running around and people breaking into houses and cars and stealing kids, you have to think about that. And it's your responsibility. It's our responsibility as men, as women, adults to, you know, stay in shape, to stay ready, to save our family, to save ourselves. You know, a lot of people think World War III is getting ready to happen. A lot of people talking about civil war, a holy war. You see some videos of Russia invading in the Ukraine, and you see those Ukraine people out there fighting for their homes, fighting for their neighborhoods, their cities. And those, you don't see overweight Ukrainians out there. You just don't. You know what? Because life over in Ukraine is hard, and those people are hard, and their hard lives have created strong men, and that's why they're, you know, holding off an army that's so much bigger than them. You know what I'm saying? You don't see these overweight people running around in those videos of the Ukrainians fighting the Russians. So that's something to think about. I put together a little video. This is a lady who comes to our workout. She does this is Jess Burris. She has two adult, I'm sorry, not adult. She has two kids in high school. She graduated from high school. I don't know how old Jess is, but you know, she's not like some Olympic athlete or anything like that. She does our women's weightlifting and comes to circuit. And this is just a little workout thing that she did, a little circuit training here. And I call this like a fight and flight here. So check this out. So we call this fight and flight. So right here, the fight portions, 3 throwing punches, bam, bam, throwing punches. Here we go. Now we got a flight. We're running. We're sprinting. Maybe we're running to get safety. Maybe we're running to help someone. About a 35-yard sprint. Come to a fence. We have to climb the fence. We're up. We're over. Boom. We have to crawl under now. Now we might have to run up some stairs. Maybe run up to an upstairs bedroom to save a child. You never know what you're going to run into. She's up. She's down. Up twice. Back down. Then she's run over here. She's going to pick up this heavy bag. Maybe you might have to pick up a child and carry him to safety. Maybe you might have to pick up a spouse and drag them to safety. Maybe a stranger. Who knows? Right here, she's sprinting another 35 yards down with it. Gets the end, drops it. Bam, she's throwing punches again. She's throwing punches. She's tired, but she's fighting back. See, that's just a little, like, when I do it after a lot of my workouts, is I'll get a hard workout and then I'll go and I'll just hit a heavy bag. And I know people, oh, it's so dramatic. I'm never going to have to get in a fight in my life. You know what? People that do have to get in a fight, people do have to get into a struggle. People do run into a burglar in their home, someone whose child does get taken, someone who has had a fire. They always think that won't happen to them. So, you know, like I said, you know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I'm sorry I take this kind of to a dark place today, but I think it's just something we need to think about as adults, as Americans, as just this human being. So anyway, I hope this helps someone. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for going with us, and slay on.